Hi everybody, JT and Casey for Everdry Waterproofing. If you have damage in your foundation or basement, they're the folks to call.
JT, that's right. If you have a damp, moldy, or wet basement, Everdry Waterproofing has the solution, and we're going to find out more. Let's go.
David Kaminsky here with Everdry Waterproofing. David, this is a basement that has sustained some pretty serious damage. What are you going to do to make it healthy again?
Well, what we're doing is we're doing a process, it's called a multi-step process. We're working on the inside of the foundation and the exterior to seal the walls and then protect the floor by putting a drainage system below the floor to keep the water from coming up and then entering the basement. It's a lot of physical labor, so we're working, with shovels and hand digging on the outside, and on the inside what we're doing is jackhammering the floor. When we remove that concrete, we have to put a drainage system below there, so you have to trench everything, put gravel pipe, and then run it over to a pressure release system.
David, the damage we see on the wall here, is this typical of water damage in someone's basement?
It is typical. This situation here, the water on the exterior is saturating the walls, which is causing the peeling paint, white powder, which is efflorescence. You can see the cracking happening. There's also mold and mildew growing here, and just discoloration. This is a situation where we have an electrical outlet inside the block wall with the wires going through the block wall, and by having that you've got some type of fire hazard by having the electrical and the water inside the wall there. What we'll do is we'll prevent this from happening, and then the homeowner, or they'll hire someone to go ahead and do the actual painting. We'll come in, and after the work is done, we'll come back a month or two later just to check on it, and then we'll also follow up a year later. In 30 years from now, we still warranty it.
David, I've heard you use the term pressure release system. What's that all about?
Well, what that does is underneath the floor, when the water table comes up, our pressure relief system will alleviate that pressure from coming up and then having water penetrate through where the floor and the wall meet.
It's a good thing I don't do this for a living, but Everdry has the crew of experts to make your basement clean and dry and secure. Once again,
we're talking with David Kaminsky of Everdry Waterproofing, who's been walking us through the interior and exterior waterproofing of a basement. But you mentioned a word that doesn't sound so great, and that is mold. And you have a product to get rid of it.
That's right. It's called the Easy Breathe ventilation system. What it does is it allows the mold spores that are floating in the air to be expelled outside, so you're not breathing them anymore.
This is the Easy Breathe ventilation system. What it does, it collects the mold spores down here, kicks them up, outside, they're gone. And what is the Smart Power?
The Smart Power is a unit that if you have a power outage due to storms, it allows the pump, which operates and pulls the water out of the basement, to continue operating.
So even if Mother Nature has other plans, we can keep the space dry.
Yes.
Now, you do many projects. Is this the typical size project you do?
They're all different. We do small projects to this size and even bigger.
And waterproofing can be somewhat of a dirty job, but how does Everdry Waterproofing minimize the mess?
What we do is help the homeowner by moving their items towards the center of the basement, and then we take visqueen and cover all of their personal belongings so they don't get covered with dust.
And Everdry Waterproofing has been doing this for a long time. You have a lot of experience. How long have you been in business?
Well, we've been in business since 1978 as a franchise, and then this office has been open since 1991.
Everdry Waterproofing. Casey, as we've seen today, they really know their stuff.
To keep your floors, footings, and walls safe, dry, and secure, it's Everdry Waterproofing. And if you call them and mention Home Sweet Home, they'll give you a $500 discount.
And that's 272-3788 or online at everdrysb.com.
It's not dry
until it's ever dry.